and our characters arrive in Trinidad. Welcome back to Writer's Theory. I'm James Winterthorne, and today is day 42 of my project to write a novel in less than 90 days. I left off yesterday with our characters now on their way to Trinidad and just having encountered part of the group that's now chasing them. Really focused on the descriptions there. My intent today is to keep the descriptions high, to keep the scenery correct, really to have a good descriptive writing session as my characters now approach the city that they've been trying to get to for a couple chapters now. So let's get into day 42 and see how well I did that. So try to keep it believable with them sleeping in shifts, especially since there are two groups hunting them now. And this is a balance between descriptions about what's happening, what the scenery looks like, how they're dealing with the terrain, and what they tell each other in what's going to drive the narrative forward. I still want to strike a balance between forward progress and having good, accurate descriptions. We want to keep the descriptions engaging and a little bit different because it'd be easy to repeat myself with them being in the desert multiple days, and then using the same description would just get tiresome. Like as a reader, we might like, oh, I get it. Like it was hot, so I want to be fresh and keep telling the descriptions and the setting in new ways. And so rather than deal with the Apache, his friends, going into town and that being a thing, they're waiting for him outside of town now. So he goes into town on his own. And I realize that he's not just going to ride in, that he's been pretty beat up on this trip. And he's going to be a spectacle of sorts. So I wanted that to... So I wanted that to be the feeling as he's riding into Trinidad alone now, but he's got weapons and it looks like he's been shot. He's been beat up in a river. He's like not looking too great. So he's an unsavory character by the looks of it. And I wanted that to be very apparent as he rode into this town. Again, here now I want to achieve a different tone. So this point in the story is one that I referenced all the way back in chapter 2. So I've been working this whole time to get to this point. This was where when Mercer and Alvarez split way back in chapter 2. Well, this is the point where they were going to meet. And so we've gone through we've gone through the flashbacks. Mercer's met the Apache and then journeyed from there, had the encounter with Triton's men, with Garrett's men, and now we are here at the town where he was supposed to meet his friend. And so we're here now, and I wanted that moment to... Now I have to develop this scene in a way that is unique and kind of pays off for the reader for how much we've anticipated getting to this moment. So let's see how well I accomplished that today. Yeah, as it turns out, I wasn't even sure if Trinidad was around during this time. As it turns out, it was quite a thriving hub or trade town. It wasn't huge, but it had had over 1,000 people in it. So as far as a Midwest or a Western frontier town, was actually pretty populous. So I don't have to change anything about Trinidad itself. I think I'm going to leave the town the way that it is. I'm going to leave the name the way that it is. Probably one of the only accuracies I got lucky with when I named it early on in the story. So I wanted things to be a nice town. I wanted it to feel good. I realized I do a lot of inns in this story, so he's spending a lot of time at inns. So want to keep the each one a little bit different and have his interactions be a little unique in each one. And here he's just gone in and he's asking for if Alvarez has been seen, and if the bartender knows anything about it. So I want to keep this interaction believable, and how it might go down if this situation were to happen. So this decision is where I came with, where he's asking the bartender's a little reluctant to say anything about it. So I wanted that to be the movement here, where it's uncertain of the situation that Mercer has got himself into, especially asking the types of questions that he's asking. So basically ending that with that if Mercer's willing to be unarmed and wait, that the bartender will pass along information. So it's a very vulnerable position that he is asking Mercer to put himself into. And I just rolled with that. I don't know if that was a good decision or not, but I'm just moving forward with it. I think it's fine. But I wanted there to have to be some kind of compromise if, let's say, Alvarez was in town and was trying to protect herself somehow. So that's a decision that I made. I wanted the town and his interaction in this inn to feel very different than what we've experienced over the past few chapters. I think I did that, and we're going to pick up more on that as we go along tomorrow. But right now, let's do the line of the day for day 42. At the very best, he was a traveler that had fallen on ill times. Given the weapons he carried, he looked like a denizen of hell, having murdered his way into town. This is one, I mentioned this earlier about what he just looks like coming into town, having been through the adventures and the fighting that he's already been through just to come from where they picked up the package to here. So he's been through a lot, and he looks the part. So that's why I liked this description of him, and I like this line of the day. So tomorrow, we're going to see if he does what the bartender asks, if he gives up his weapons, and if he actually gets to meet his friend. So if you want to see what happens tomorrow, and you want to see if I make my goal of writing this novel in less than 90 days, please like and subscribe so you can read what happens tomorrow. And we arrive at Trinidad. Probably in Trinidad.